Hi there YouTube. So how was last week? Well, it wasn't the best, I've got to admit. So it should have been week 2 of my intro block, getting me ready to train for this week. But after a brilliant session, and you're actually going to see it in its entirety because it was a bank holiday, nobody's in the gym, so I was free to film. It was a great session. It was a hypertrophy session. Everything went really well. Tuesday, got up, didn't feel 100%, but I was like, oh, well, you know, I'll always go in, warm up, see how things feel. Warm-ups felt hard. I worked up to my top set. My top set wasn't even a top set. It's an intro block. My first set, my first working set. So I worked up on my squats and they just felt really, really hard. Just horrible. Just even like loading the bar felt like hard work. So I took the smart move and thought, you know what, I'm going to call this session it and go home, chill. I went home, half an hour, and then I literally slept for about 5 hours. I woke up, I ate, I slept. I slept off Tuesday completely. Monday, I'd felt really tired through Monday for like no reason either. So when I look back at that, it's like, well, maybe that there was a sign. Tuesday I slept off. Wednesday obviously wouldn't have been a training day anyway for myself, not planned. So didn't train that day. Was starting to feel better. Definitely didn't feel as tired. Didn't feel as lethargic. Thursday got round. I was feeling great. Wednesday night, first bit of Thursday morning. Then about 9 o'clock, bang, straight down. Like just felt drained. Just like there was nothing. No energy to do anything, like no willingness, all that motivation just gone. And I spent the day in bed watching Netflix. Friday I was feeling better, Saturday I was feeling better, but didn't actually get in the gym until Sunday. So last week only one session happened, not very good for an intro, so it means the week that followed that was also an intro, which I've now just done that, and it's a bloody good week, and I'm fucking excited. But that is for next week's update. So what have we got? Obviously, I'm going to just talk you through my current training setup, and then I'm going to let you just kind of see what my hypertrophy session looked like, the one session that went really well, because the other 3 didn't happen. So my current setup, I have a hypertrophy day, so low on the RPE, slightly higher on the reps and the sets. I cover squat, bench. In the video, you're going to see a stiff leg deadlift. I've actually swapped that out and gone for a split squat. I want a bit more of a slight squat focus, and I do like to have some single leg work in. I think it carries over well for when there's not room to have single leg work. And my deadlift is ridiculous enough without any assistance. I'm actually quite interested to see how it responds without having the stiff leg deadlift. So I haven't actually got that direct hypertrophy fatigue from the stiff leg deadlift in other deadlifting sessions. There's a lat pull down in there, some calves, and that kind of wraps up my hypertrophy session. I then have a heavy technique day, so we're looking at getting on some loads that are reasonable, probably about 3 to 5 reps kind of loads, but I'm only performing between 1 to 3 reps, keeping RPE low. So that there is just about perfecting the movement, perfecting the squat, bench and deadlift. That's all I really do that day. Intensities, moderate to high, volumes low, because like I say, it's most of the work is between 1, 2 and 3 reps. I then have a strength day for my squat and bench, and then I get some upper body accessory, so a bit more isolation upper body, because some of the key movements are in the hypertrophy day, and then the 4th day is strength on the deadlift, and then some lower body accessory movements. So when I say strength, what am I talking about? Obviously, being a power lifter for me in this block, it's going to be between 4 and 6 reps, and probably about 4 to 5 sets on the big movements. Accessory work, fractionally lighter, rep or 2 higher. Yet again, probably only 2 to 3 sets on those. So that is the current setup. It's 4 days. How those 4 days come, I'm not too fussed. Obviously, perfect situation would be like hypertrophy heavy technique, rest, strength for the squat and bench, followed by strength for the deadlift. So the clustered in twos, 2 on, 1 off, 2 on, 1 off, 2 on, yeah. You know what I mean. So that is how things are until my volume becomes so much that I can't get all my volume in within 4 sessions. And then I'll start to open up the day. So possibly the hypertrophy work will probably end up spanning 2 days initially, and then my technique work may even span 2 days with some very light accessories at the end of that. So here we go. This is what my hypertrophy session looks like. So first up is squats. Every session always starts with squats. I am squatting 4 times per week, but what you'll see here is what should look like some pretty comfortable sets of 7s. Over the next training block, once I get into it, once the intros are over, I will be working a lot of my hypertrophy work between the 7 to 9 range, and I will wave load that. So my first week of training, once the intros are finished, I will use 9 reps, and I'll probably be using this weight for 9 reps, and then every week the reps will come down by 1, but the load will go up by about 2.5%. I will auto-regulate this to a certain degree and make the most of when things feel good, and hold back when things are feeling a bit on the crappy side. But I know, because I've had another hypertrophy session since this, that squats are feeling really, really good. So I know this here will probably be what I'll be aiming at this weight, or slightly higher, for 9 reps to start things off. Gonna get a crazy amount of volume going through those legs. I know before I start to taper down for comp, my hypertrophy sessions, just on the squat alone in that single session, was pushing close to 5,000 kilos. That there was working on 5x5s for hypertrophy work, because then I was more specific to comp. I can be a little bit further away from what's required in competition, so I want to build volume up with some higher reps, and they will slowly taper down when the next competition comes in. One thing you will notice is that although it's hypertrophy work, I've chosen to keep all the core lifts within my hypertrophy work, and not actually use lift variations. I know some people would, on a hypertrophy session, maybe use slight variations, maybe like a high bar squat. I do actually high bar squat later in the week as accessory work. Maybe something like a safety squat bar, just so that they're still squatting, and the main thing is laying down some muscle and getting some volume within the body. Say at the bench press, I know some people will do say 2 or 3 sets on bench, and then they may add in some added dumbbell work for that added volume. I've actually kept things very simple at the moment. None of the movements are giving me any issues, so I don't see a need to take them out. If I was getting too many aches and pains, my little shoulder niggle seems fine at the moment. But if I was getting some aches and pains, I would therefore think, actually I can probably back off some of the specific movement patterns for more comfortable variations. And here we've got the stiff leg deadlift. Sadly this will be going, but yeah, this is 180 kilos I think for probably sets of 6. So this is going to be disappearing for a training block or 2 until I've got a few more days. I think just due to the nature that it's heavy, it takes a little bit more warming up, it takes up a little bit more time, and therefore slotting it in within a session. My sessions at the moment are about 2 hours, and it's about as long as I like to train. I kind of feel beyond that, you kind of lose that focus and intent. And when lifts start to get heavier, that's why when I go into like more intensity blocks, I will tend to spread the volume out over more days, just so that my session time is shorter. It's not the fact that I'm necessarily doing more or less work, it's more the fact that I want that intensity for those first 2-3 movements, and then I just want to be out. I don't want to have to keep thinking about multiple movements. Glute hammer is one of my favourites. This is another one that won't be staying on this day. This will actually move over to my deadlift strength day. But that there is going to go over to that, and obviously the stiff leg deadlift, although it's not there, is going to be a Bulgarian split squat. And once I get into the training block, a lot of my accessory work, especially things like this, will probably be around that 10 to 15 rep. Probably just 2 sets. If I can progress on 2 sets, I'm not going to add anything else. But I will probably keep the reps. Some will be 8 to 12, some will be 10 to 15. Calves, poverty calves. But I think in the couple of years, they have grown. So here we go. This is some nice controlled calf pressing. One thing I've found with calves, and if anybody's watching this, you're probably a powerlifter thinking I don't care about my calves. But if you are the bodybuilder, the thing is, most people just don't train calves. They just don't go through the full range of movement. They put way too much weight on. Trust me, I'm all about weight and overload, but you need to be able to move that weight through that range. Getting that squeeze at the top and then lowering those heels to get a good stretch and trying to get a bit of a pause at the bottom. Trust me, I would take 5 sets of 5 on squats, bench or deadlift any day over 3 sets of 8 to 12 reps on a calf movement. They absolutely kill me, and I think that's when people make up the excuses on why they can't get calves, is because they are not willing to train them hard enough. Yeah, I find this actually a really mentally taxing movement, but less about my poverty calves. Thank you very much for watching, people. You know what to do. If you liked it, hit that like button. If you really, really liked it, then go click subscribe. We are going to be trying to put out, there's no we, this is a one-man show. I am going to be trying to put out nice weekly content, just documenting my training as I make my way up to a 700 kilo total. I know for some of you that's impressive. Others, you're like, what's that? Well, for me, it's something. It's a good goal. It will see me at a national level, and it's something I'm looking forward to documenting the process on, because I know there's some people out there that watch this stuff and they find it really interesting, and that just makes putting these together just feel absolutely worth it. So until next time, people, see ya.